now we are going to head into some motivation. As you guys know, this is the bread and butter of almost everything that I do, because the ultimate goal should to not only to be the best version of yourself, to show up for you, your family, your future, everything else, including the kid you used to be. It's also about, in my opinion, being a part of someone else's survival guide some day. And one of the best ways to learn is through failure. And sometimes we are afraid to fail because we're taught failure is bad. But we're also afraid to fail because of other people's judgments and other people's opinions, which leads me to today's topic, bullying. I personally believe that bullying never stops. It never ends. But how you approach it and how you allow it to make you feel can change. And here's how to do that. You can sign up for all the anti-bullying campaigns in the world. It's not going to stop bullying. Bullying and that sort of behavior is in human nature, okay? Because we have deep-rooted jealousies, we have hurt people raising hurt children, we have biases being passed down, generational curses being passed down, we have, you know, people that don't understand big emotions in little bodies, and we have all of these lack of, I guess I would say, lack of accountability, and that creates the perfect storm for bullying. And in today's society where everybody is attached to social media and the web and everything else, everything at your fingertips, and it's a magical, amazing thing in modern society. Unfortunately, with the emergence of a social media world, it has, unfortunately, the byproduct of that has been the promotion of promiscuity and narcissistic behavior. A lot of people have found that they can bully behind a screen and pretend to be something that they're not, with pretty much zero consequences. And then people that try to exercise certain rights end up being the ones that are canceled. We have people falling victim to the mob mentality and group identity and all this other stuff, instead of realizing that you were fearfully and wonderfully made. You were an individual. There's only one of you. You are a limited edition. Why would you want to be a mass-produced product? You see what I'm saying? And all of this creates some perfect circumstances for bullies to thrive and succeed in our society at the expense of others. And that's what narcissistic behavior really is. And it's not that common for narcissists to ultimately reap what they sow, because there's a lot of people that are afraid to stand up to the status quo. We see that in many, many different facets of life. You have, for example, you have people that complain about Nepo babies in Hollywood, for example. They complain about that instead of wondering how come their parents didn't set them up for success the way these Nepo babies have. If you are a wrestling fan, we can relate this to wrestling. There are many Nepo babies in wrestling. I have not been jealous of a single one of them. Why? Because here, it's very simple. It's very simple. And this goes for any sort of Nepo baby, okay? The term Nepo baby in and of itself, I think, is ridiculous. Like, just call it nepotism, like an adult. But I digress. Okay, we want to call them Nepo babies? Well, whatever. Okay, Nepo babies in wrestling have been around since wrestling, okay? It began, okay? The thing is when you are a Nepo baby, for example, in wrestling, there are certain doors that just naturally open up for you. That's part of being a Nepo baby. However, the ability to hide your crash and burn is nowhere close compared to if you were nobody, okay? There is such a high level of expectation when it comes to being a Nepo baby. You have that unrealistic expectation literally shining down on you every single moment of your life. That's why you see so many of them crack and crash under pressure, and they do not know what to do with it. And a lot of times, neither would you. You have no idea what the expectations are like for someone like Charlotte Flair, or even if you don't like her, even a Tessa Blanchard, for example. There's so many, the list could go on and on, but I don't need to name a bunch of them. Okay, there is such a high expectation that comes with that. Yes, some doors open for you naturally, and that's great. Who wouldn't want that? You could not sit here and tell me that if you had a successful business from your parents that could give you millions of dollars if you just learned the business and did, are you going to really sit there and tell me that you wouldn't want to be a multimillionaire right now if your parents had set that up for you? 99% of you would take it. So why are you so mad at Nepo babies? And instead of being mad at them, turn that negativity around into motivation. Use that bitterness to be better, right? But they don't do that. They don't go, oh, well, you know what? If I can't be a Nepo baby, then why don't I set my kids up to have some sort of access to success if they earn it? I'm not just going to give it to them. They need to earn it. And if they show me that they've earned it and respect it, then I'll pass the torch to them and set them up and their kids up. So then I'm setting up not just my kids, but my grandkids and my great grandkids. Why don't those people complaining about Nepo babies do that? Because they're narcissists. They like to play the victim game. We're living in a society full of narcissists that want to play in the victim Olympics. And unfortunately, that game is starting to not end well. And now you're starting to hear people say things like, you go woke, you go broke. This is happening on large scale for a reason. And narcissists, a lot of times, whether they know it or not, can bully. Because it's easier to drag people down to your level than it is to build yourself up to their level. And that's why you have a lot of bullies. On social media, it's so easy to act tough and pretend tough to be tough, right? But then if somebody confronts you in person, in real life, off screen, you're going to cower, right? But then as soon as that instance is over, you are going to go back online and then talk all this crap to try to get that person canceled or whatever the case may be. And you're going to continue spouting your hate and all this other stuff because you're a bully. You're a narcissist. How dare someone stand up to you? How dare someone stand up for themselves? Okay, you're the victim, not them. Narcissistic behavior. Bullying. It's hand in hand. They do this little victim dance. So you got to ask yourself, is it really worth my energy to give this bully the reaction that they want? To give the trolls the reaction, the clout, and all this other stuff that they claim you want, but in reality, they're the ones seeking it by trying to get you to react. And that's why at the beginning of this video, I said, bullying never truly ends, but how you let it affect you and how you respond to it can change. And that change is healing that you choose instead of trauma that you didn't choose. There is a big difference. Instead of being mad at Nepo babies, instead of being mad at your next door neighbor, instead of being mad at the world, turn that bitterness around to make you better. So then you can change your environment. You can get a different neighbor by going into a different neighborhood. You can have a better chance at your job, a better, self-esteem, better confidence, better avenues to the success, health, and happiness that you want. You're never going to get any of those things if you are focused on the trolls, if you are focused on the bullying. How you respond to it ultimately says who you are as a person. What's that? The tried and true method of Mama Hendrix works every single time. I hope your day gets better, or have a nice day. Because ultimately they're not going to have a good day. They're not going to have a nice day because they don't want to have a good day. They don't want to have a nice day. They want you to have just as bad a day as them, if not worse. They want you to have a horrible day, a terrible day. They're not focused on making their day good. They're focused on making your day bad. Treat hate with positivity. Treat trolls with positivity, or just don't even acknowledge them at all. There are so many people out there that have a platform or want to have a platform that engage more with trolls and bullies than they do with their own fans. What is wrong with that? It's because what you focus, you attract. If you were always looking for negativity, that is all you were going to see in the world. That's all you were going to find on social media. But if you start projecting real positivity outward, real confidence outward, because you are working on your self-esteem and you're actually about it and it's not fake, then you're going to be attracting more authentic positivity. You're going to be attracting more people that are high value and that are confident and who are attracted to your authenticity, not to snuff you out like a bully, but to help make it brighter, like a support system, like a fan base. True confidence is silent a lot of times and it radiates outward. Insecurities are what's loud, what are deafening. Those bullies, the narcissists, the victims, okay? Some people, I've said this before and I will say it again, some people are so good at playing the victim that they should carry around their own body chalk. Because that's the kind of world we live in with the emergence of social media. But you don't have to be a victim. Nobody is oppressing you. You can make your life any which way you want to. It's all a matter of how hungry are you? How much do you want it? Most of you watching this, the boat's already passed. You're not a Nepo baby. But ask yourself, what am I doing to set myself up for the best possible position of success so that I can be the adult I needed as a child and then set my children up and my children's children and potentially, if I'm really good, my children's children's children? Those are much better questions than trying to figure out how to bully somebody else online. Remember, Dave Chappelle had such a great skit. I don't remember what special it was, but he talked about how people always accuse him of punching down. To me, it makes almost no sense, okay? Like, the people that are above you do not really have the actual time to be punching you down. They are busy building their own shizit. They are busy building an empire. Empires are not normal, okay? It's the mediocre people. It's people that celebrate mediocrity in the society that have the time to punch other people, okay? And that punch isn't punching down, it's punching up. Why are they punching up? It's a European uppercut for a reason. They are trying to European uppercut you like only a bully would, because it's easier, like I already said, to drag you down to their level than it is to build themselves up. Because they have convinced themselves that they are the victim, even though they are the narcissistic bully. People that are ahead of you, people that are above you, do not have the time to tear you down. They are building an empire. Empires are not normal. But you can have one if you're willing to put in that work. If you want to be a high-value individual, you have to be willing to do that high-value work. You have to be willing to do all the stuff that all the victims don't want to do. All the narcissistic bullies, you have to be willing to do all of the hard work that they don't want to do. They want that society that we're in where everything's at your fingertips. You don't go to work for it, you just deserve it. So it should just be given to you. It should just be handed to you. Okay? Even Nepo babies got to figure out how to do something, because eventually the money runs out. Or eventually they stop getting gigs because they're not good. They actually have to put in effort. Charlotte Flair actually has to put in an effort to be Charlotte Flair. She has to have some sort of talent. You cannot tell me she is talentless. You cannot convince me of that. Okay? If you are not a Nepo baby, that is okay. But you can set your family up for the best possible position of happiness, health, and success, okay? Stop allowing other people around you to celebrate mediocrity. Mediocrity is not special. You deserve to work towards a once-in-a-lifetime life. Now, that might sound redundant and weird, but it's the truth. Right now, we're celebrating mediocrity and giving out participation awards. Do you want a participation award, or do you want first freaking place in your life? In your life. You are the main character in your life. Make it a life worth living. Do not give bullies, do not give narcissists, do not give trolls the time of day. Just say, I hope your day gets better. Or thank you and have a nice day. Because at the end of the day, you need to be focused on making your day great. Your goals. You need to focus on making your dreams come true. Your path to what your success looks like come true. You don't have time to be giving somebody a rope that you tied around your waist so they can tear you down and punch up at you to drag you down to their level. Because then they win. They don't deserve to win. Take that bitterness, turn it into motivation, turn it into consistency to make your life everything that you deserve it to be as a limited edition of one. Have a nice day. Talk soon.